Once a month or so, showman, actor, radio host, and high-tech expert Steve Dotto wanders into our studio to dispense high-tech advice. It is my pleasure to welcome Steve Dotto back to Studio 4 to tell and show us more.
Hey.
Nice to see you again.
It is nice to be here.
I was reading one of your blogs and you called yourself a fanboy.
Oh, an Apple fanboy. Yeah, sort of. Well, that was when Steve Jobs was retiring, and I have so much respect for what he built and how he did stuff. So occasionally, you know, you kind of gush a little bit.
Of course, and he will be sorely missed. He's still here.
He's still here, and we shouldn't be so concerned about Apple. We should be concerned about Steve. He's facing serious health issues, and he's been, I mean, he's a visionary that's changed the world. He's going to be seen as one of the great businessmen, one of the great leaders of our century, for sure.
So why are apps so inexpensive? Most of them are.
Because of distribution, and the fact, do you know how many iPads Apple has sold in the last quarter? Like nearly 10 million.
Really?
Yeah, and so, and it costs you nothing to distribute it. So you can build this application, and you have to spend, you know, it costs you some money to build it. But in the old days, you had to then take the disk, you had to press the disk, you had to press the manual, you had to box it, you had to ship it, you had to distribute it, and then you had to put it on shelves and sell it. That was where all the money was. Now, if you want an app, you go to the App Store and you say, I like that. Sometimes you can try a free one, and sometimes you can just download it and it costs 99 cents or $4, but it's a fraction of the cost because there's none of the infrastructure for distribution.
Right. Well, my grandson downloads on my phone.
Yes.
Don't you like it? I said, what did that cost, Baba? He says $4.99.
It's nothing to you.
It's nothing.
But why?
Now I'm
the
playing
question is,
Fruit Ninja. It's free.
And the question is, how is he downloading? Somebody knows your password.
Well, I do. I didn't realize that the games cost. You see, and then I said, well, pick a game, any game.
Yeah.
And then I said, did that cost,
So
Baba?
were you using the phone as a babysitter?
Apparently I was.
Oh, that's not good grandmothering.
No, it's not. And you should see how messy your phone is once they play games on it,
with
please.
a peanut butter sandwich.
But it uses up your data, must.
Depends. Are you on Wi-Fi? See, with your phone, you should be converting over when you're at home. You should be using your local Wi-Fi network instead of using your data plan. You don't know about that, do you?
You know, I don't know about a lot of things. I know about it, but I never bother switching about.
Well, switch. If you got the big bill at the end of the month, you'll know why.
That's what happens to me. I get the big bill,
but then you have to
don't
turn
know
it
why.
off when you go out so that you don't use up your battery.
Okay, I know how to do that. I know how to turn the apps off.
The Wi-Fi off is what
The
I'm
Wi-Fi
talking
off.
about. Yeah.
Oh, the Wi-Fi off.
See, but you want the local for access.
Too confusing. Let's go to the New York Times.
Once a month isn't enough, is it, Fanny?
No, you're going to have to come back more. But I do read the New York Times,
Did you get the subscription? And
I
know
have
you're
it
a big
online,
fan.
but I like reading the paper.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, so you like the physical paper?
I do.
So you haven't. Well, but you also still only have the iPhone. You haven't got the iPad yet.
No.
So you haven't experienced it kind of in full screen. And the reason I brought it up is New York Times is one of those ones where they share a little bit with you for free, but then you can purchase a subscription to have it online. And they've done a really wonderful job. And of course, it's for a lot of people, it's, you know, a once a week pleasure, is, you know, reading the Sunday Times.
You have to have the Sunday Times.
Yeah,
you
and
just
so
do.
I put this in as an app because I know how much of a fan you are of it. So I put it in. But if you go to the New York Times app and download it, and you just go into the sections, you can see what they have, and they've got. You can see you actually don't get all that much free. Most of them are part of the subscription, but you can get into the home and garden section for free, and the magazine, and a few other of the sections.
Any columnists?
For free. Any columnists?
Like Frank Rich, or can you read a column?
Oh, I doubt very much because that's their stock and trade.
Of course it is.
They'll share pretty much for free anything that kind of ends up out on the wire that you can get anywhere else as well. But they're like the crossword. No way are you going to get that for free. You're going to have to pay for that sort of thing. Yeah, and you know, I also wanted to spend a little bit of time with you talking about some of the more fun applications. And you know, there are applications that you don't really know what good they do, but they're just so darn compelling. And to me, Google Earth is one. Have you played with that? And they've done just a wonderful job using all of their mapping technology and satellite technology. And it's a free app that you can take on. And using the pinch technique on something like the iPad, you can scroll around and you can zoom right in on any location. And you see in some of the photos, as you get down into detail, are very high resolution, and other ones are kind of a moderate resolution. But you know, as we zoom in on the Vancouver area, we can come right into where we are here, almost like till we can actually probably pass off to your Skycam. Is this where we are here?
How great. I think so.
We're somewhere in
but
this
what
area.
if you didn't know where Vancouver was?
Yeah, there's the ability to be able to do searches and stuff like that. And it works with Google Maps in that way as well. But just as far as an app for just
can you see us? Is it that good?
Well, no. Well, it's not real time.
No, I know.
It's stored images.
I know.
So you will notice change. But when you look at the province and if you want to see about how much clear cutting there is, or your kids are doing a project on forestry or the environment or anything that you can see, it's just a wonderful and also.
So you can go to the Great Bear Rainforest, or you can go to Granville Island.
You can go anywhere you want, and it gives you an idea of scale. Just the fact of how close we are yet how far we are.
Sure.
It's an app that it's just one of those ones that you play with and you have to have on every device.
Of course you do. What about HitPad?
Oh, now this one.
Do you have that?
I've got HitPad loaded because it is it's kind of an interesting kind of a newer age application that basically tracks trending topics. But with Twitter and with all the stuff that's going on online, how fast news is flying in and how quickly trends are being established. And how do you stay up? How do you keep up? You don't.
How do you keep up with the buzz?
And exactly. How do you keep up with what's happening
on
the street?
BuzzFeed.
Well, HitPad does that. What HitPad does is it allows you to select what area you want to follow the trends in. And I've got Canadian news up here.
Yes.
And it's following the trending Twitter feeds and news and video feeds. And I can go through and see that all of this stuff on these different streams that we see here. And then down the left-hand side here, it's following the topic. So Dalton McGuinty is popular in the news, and so we can see all the stories here in the news that are relating to that. And I'm sure if we wait for a few seconds, Air Canada will come up because they're talking about striking.
Strike here.
Oh, there it is. It came up just as I was talking, and that was and so you can get the newest news on that. So it's following the trending news.
Oh, I like that.
And you can do that in entertainment. You can do it in world news. You can do it in they've got
it's
business.
Up to snuff, up to the moment.
Yeah, and it's
latest,
what's happening.
latest.
It's what's happening right now, and all they've got doing is they're sitting there with feelers out over the entire internet, pulling in all these different sources, saying, "Oh, this is what people are following right now," and giving you that. So it's a way to kind of
and these are free apps.
These are all free.
These are all free apps. What about bamboo paper?
Well, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about communicating on the iPad because a lot of us don't like using the keyboard on the iPad as far as writing. But there's some simple applications. This will come up a little bit sideways on us. But there's some simple, just apps that you can write with and take notes and draw little drawings on. And bamboo paper is just simple, it's elegant, and it's a really efficient way to do it. And what the cool thing though is once you've got all of your notes, you can take those notes and you can email them to yourself as
really? So there is such a
them.
thing as note to self.
Note to self. Oh yeah, absolutely. And while we're on this theme, you don't have this on your little paper here, but I was thinking, talking about using your tools for communication, especially limiting the keyboard. There's a wonderful voice recognition app that's available on the iPhones. They're called Dragon Dictation. And this one, and there's similar apps on Android and other phones as well. But we're going to take a bit of a leap of faith here because I've always found that every time I've demoed voice dictation stuff live, it comes out interesting. Now you have to be quiet. Can you do that?
At least you didn't swear. I can't be quiet. Yes, I will.
You have to be quiet
while
I talk. And I'm just going to show you how accurate this is. This is amazing. Memo. Steve is doing a show right now and demonstrating software. I hope it. Oh, look. It came up perfect without anything that we have to bleep.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
Free.
Because many of us dictated into machines, as you know. We think verbally.
Were you able to do that? Are you able to write a column by dictating?
Yes, because I'm very oral.
Really?
Yes.
I find that I need a keyboard to write, and I always thought that dictation software for me would be great because I do so much writing and I'm such a terrible speller. I would offload that responsibility to something else. But my mind, I need the composition of a keyboard to write.
Sure, I understand. And for me to write creatively, yes, absolutely.
But you can do kind of business communication.
I can do business communication, and certainly what you just did. I can manage TED. Love TED Talks.
Oh, do you? Do you have the TED app?
No, I'm getting it immediately. I didn't know there was a TED app.
There is a TED app, and it's one of the more popular apps available. And it is, well, the TED website is great as well.
It's fantastic.
But these apps are, For people who don't know, the TED Talks are little snippets of the most interesting people in the world talking about their passions. And they're limited to, I think, 10 minutes is the maximum length of a TED Talk. So they have to really just boil down to the most germane message that they want to get out. And they're built into these conferences. Well, they've got an archive of thousands of these talks. And
think
you can
Temple
go in.
Grandin, think,
Yeah, here they are, and you can go in, and they've done a nice job of creating a synopsis. You go through, you see the featured ones, you can see the related themes, it will talk about that, and then you can watch these talks that people spend thousands of dollars to attend these conferences.
Well, you have to come back because we didn't get through all the apps, and we have to mention something very important. A funny thing happened on the way to the theater and on the way to the forum. You will be in a production of A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum. Yes. Great musical.
It is a wonderful. It's written by Stephen Sondheim and Bert Shaw, Larry Gilbert. I sing in it, and I sing in a dance.
You do, and you dance?
Yeah.
And at Jericho Arts Center, October 4th.
Yeah, it opens the 4th. It runs for pretty much the whole month.
To the 23rd. Who are you playing?
I'm playing Marcus Likas. Are you going to come?
Marcus Likas. I guess I have to now.
Yeah, it's going to be a great show.
Okay, will you come back and do more apps?
I will.
Thank you.
And Wi-Fi.
And Wi-Fi. Oh, yeah, I got to remember that. Yeah. Steve Dotto, Dotto Tech, Wednesday, 6 p.m., AM 650, of course. Remember, you can enjoy Studio 4 conversations on YouTube or follow us on Twitter at Fanny Studio 4.